Hey everyone, and welcome to my second channel, where we take a more relaxed and behind-the-scenes look at stuff I do on my first channel. Now, nearly 2 million of you have watched my last P1 rebuild video, and I am super happy about that. But something you might not know is when I went to the UK, I actually got a lot of footage because I was looking for a lot of P1 parts that I needed. And this video is gonna be showing you everything that I found. So we're gonna have two stops on this tour. Number one is gonna be Supercar Concierge, and number two is gonna be V Engineering, which actually did make it into that video, but this is gonna be a more extended cut. You're gonna be able to see everything that didn't make it into that episode. So without further ado, here we go. All right, guys, this is gonna be super special because we are in Supercar Concierge, and you already got P1 parts, dude. Look at it. Oh, we got a charger, we got a rear bumper, we got a hood. I don't know if I'm gonna need any of this. I'm gonna need that, but this is amazing. This is a really cool unit. So this is Ratnesh.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Ratnesh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. So he is the owner of Supercar Concierge, and he has some supercars. That's not one of them, but this is. We have a Lamborghini Murcielago LP670 SV. This was a Singapore import. Really cool right-hand drive. Has it's 63 of like the chassis 63.
It's car number 63.
Yeah.
Obviously, the significance of that is Lamborghini was founded
Yeah.
in 1963, making this one 50 years old. So
Yes, this car is 50 years old.
I'm glad you bought that.
Awesome. So you have a lot of cars and a lot of parts from those cars, and some people will notice that you have a Pagani Huayra front end, which is so insane. Like who gets this? Like who gets parts like this? This is completely exposed carbon fiber, and I mean, this has to be worth, it's worth more than I have, but like this is like, it goes on a $5 million car, so I'm guessing this has to be worth like 200,000-300,000 pounds. What do you think?
Right? Gotta be. I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No idea. I'm a hoarder.
All right, so I will give you, because I can put this on a car. Let's say 85 bucks, let's call it a deal.
Freddie, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so you have told me that you have an Aladdin's Cave. That is a direct quote of P1 parts and McLaren parts.
Just a couple of parts, not too many.
Not too many.
Just a few parts, yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to follow us up?
Yeah, I would love to see your Aladdin's Cave, and that is not a suggestive thing.
some little hints of what's coming up.
Oh, that's cool. So those P1, no, not P1, they're Senna wheels. Look at that. All right.
Welcome.
Oh, dude. What? This is nuts. We got brake calipers of every color and size. We have what looks like, actually, I need some of those. These are tail lights for McLarens because they definitely like to go very foggy. We have a P1 wheel. That is a front wheel. Unfortunately, I don't need a front wheel. I need a rear wheel. But right here is something I do need. Look at that spoiler. It's a complete visual carbon spoiler for a P1. And that's heavy, isn't it?
That's super heavy, yeah.
Yeah, it's super.
Try.
Yeah.
Careful.
Good. Yeah, almost threw my back out there. So, whoa.
Freddie, just for you, especially now, I'm wondering whether we could convert yours to a GTR.
So this is a McLaren P1 GTR diffuser, and I'm guessing these are for the rams, for the
hydraulic rams.
The hydraulic rams. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be doing that to my car. But behind that, you have a regular P1 diffuser that has gloss carbon. This one is matte. Which, dude, how do you get these parts? Like, what's your story?
Oh gosh, you don't want to know.
No. Like, if you say it like that, people think you stole these parts. No, these are. You worked at McLaren for a very long time.
Very long time, yeah, very long time. So I go around collecting parts, buying parts, not just for supercars but hypercars as well. And we purchase parts which are obsolete. Overstock, where dealers have to basically make space for new stock.
That's interesting. So dealers, like, they have parts that might be slightly imperfected or something like that. They have some slight blemish, and then they will just throw them out. But some techs or whatever, like, they just take them home with them, and then they just make their way here. And these aren't like blemished parts. These are good parts.
These are good parts. So yeah, but some of the parts also come from main dealers.
Yes.
Where they are overstocked.
Yes.
So they need to clear out the stock to make space for new. So like a Tourer parts are coming in, so they need to sell off all the 12C650 stuff.
Well, I see you got Artura parts right here. Look at that. Look, I mean, you know, that's cool. It's crazy that these cars are already being taken apart. They barely just came out. So one thing I'm gonna need is this guy right here, center console. One thing I noticed right off the bat, let me make sure I don't break anything here. There's no buttons at the top. That's weird.
These ones.
Yeah, so usually they're supposed to be, you know, marked off or something for the fan control. Yeah, something like that. So that is the iris system that goes in there. That's the infotainment. And there's no buttons here. And I think this might be a pre-production prototype car, which is super duper cool. Also, you can tell because the E mode button is like 90 degrees cocked sideways. So I don't know what that's about.
We call this the hockey stick.
The hockey, yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's what it's called, the hockey stick.
Yeah,
within the McLaren terms,
yeah,
it's a hockey stick.
It's a golf club or something. Yeah, that's good. So I'll have that.
Yeah,
I'll have this. Also, I'm gonna need some, like, you know, some of these, because you have just a bunch of these switches. I need window switches. Thankfully, McLaren, in all their infinite wisdom, install the same window switches in like every car. So the 12C, 650S, 675, they all have the same window switches, and the P1 does as well. So I'm gonna need that. And then
paperweight. P1 rear spring.
Look at that. That's, wow. I don't need this, but you know what? Just put it in the box anyway.
You need, not sure. I don't think you're gonna need these calipers.
Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. So these are the Akebono calipers from the P1. Look at that. That is super cool. No, I don't think I'm going to need those, but who knows? Mine might be real bad. I haven't actually tried to brake or stop with the car. But so you're just like tripping over carbon fiber everywhere. You have just randomly just a bunch of carbon ceramic rotors. Each of these is like, what is this, like 10K each?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
That's a lot. So you got steering wheels, and you got any P1 steering wheels? You do.
There we go. So
look at that.
Take a pic, Freddie.
So
would you like to match it with your orange stitching or non-orange?
You have two P1 steering wheels? That is nuts. So, fun fact, the P1 steering wheel is exactly the same as, yep,
720
as a 720 steering wheel. They just have holes in them for the buttons. It's exactly the same. How much does a 720 steering wheel cost?
720 steering wheel, you're looking about 3 to 4K.
Okay, 3 to 4K. How much does the P1 steering wheel cost?
Should we give them something to think about?
Yeah. You guys can let me know how much you. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna.
We can show you at the end of the video.
Yeah, we can. But that's more expensive, and all it has is 2 more buttons.
That's more expensive than the hood.
It's more expensive than the hood. Absolutely. So let's make sure. Oops. There we go.
Don't worry about that.
Uh-oh.
We've got plenty of those.
It fell into a steering wheel. That's okay. We didn't break anything. We're good.
ECUs? Do we need, Freddie?
Oh, you got ECUs.
CCUs.
Yeah. So these, honestly, I think those might be all the same between all the cars. You just change the calibration on them.
Right. Okay. Well, there you
go.
go.
This is it has a 13 part number.
It's a 13R, so it's a 620R.
Okay, so a 620R.
Pre-programmed.
So that'll work for my P1, right?
We'll get it work. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. That's fine then. I think my ECUs are okay, actually. But, dude, you have so much stuff here. So this is from a McLaren GT, I believe, right?
No, this is from the Senna.
That's from a Senna.
These two from Senna.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, because that's why they're gigantic. Also, you have exhaust here. That That looks P1-ish. One of those looks P1-ish.
This. Now it is your P1. As you can see, the cat there is a lot wider than those ones down there.
Oh, dude, this is awesome.
There's that.
And then this is 600 LT.
600 LT.
That's wonderful because the flames shoot out the top, and then this is to protect it. So that's nice.
We have one extremely rare bit.
Ooh, that's from an SLR.
A little bit dusty.
Yeah, so this is before McLaren made, you know, like production cars. McLaren and Mercedes worked on a car, and it was the SLR, and then they sold one to Paris Hilton, and then Paris Hilton sold that car, and then Ed Bullion bought it, and now, yep, there we go.
Freddie, we need to go through this.
Okay, so what's in there?
In here is a bunch of glass.
Okay.
However, you need to double check.
No, that's the P1 doesn't have that glass.
No P1.
That is for P11. That's for a 675.
So we've got a pair of P11 glasses there.
Yeah.
No idea what this one is. This is another. That's the other side.
Yeah, that's the other side.
Right. There
Yeah.
is more glass
Okay.
in here somewhere. We just need to find it.
It's somewhere in this. It's somewhere in this room. I'm actually like, there's a Senna exhaust tips right here. I'm just, this is crazy. So we have headlights, we have taillights. How long did it take you to get all this stuff, dude?
5 to 6 years, just collecting. Whatever gets offered to you, just buy it. Buy it, sit on it. Someone like Freddie eventually will buy a wrecked car.
Well, you know,
I need it.
yeah, somebody has to be dumb enough. Somebody has to be the idiot like me. Yeah.
We've got a bazooka.
That is so cool. That is awesome. So this is the suspension upright for the, not suspension upright, the spoiler upright for the Senna, right?
With the hydraulic ram in there.
Oh, look at that. Looks like a battle rifle. That's awesome. So if Shmee gets in another fender bender, I'm gonna tell him to call you.
Got it.
Yeah.
We've got you covered, Shmee.
Yeah, Shmee might have more money than I do because, dude, this is amazing. So you got brake pads too?
Brake pads, brake calipers.
What do you got in here? What do you got in there?
Ooh, this is...
It's like miscellaneous.
This is like a pick and mix box.
Okay.
So we have random things like...
What is that?
This is a water bottle for...
What?
Senna.
So they sell a car like that. So how does that water bottle work?
It sits between the passenger and driver's seat, plumbed in at the back with the electronics. Hit this button to get a drink of water through the plumbing and the pipes that goes up to your crash helmet.
Wonderful. And fun fact, you can also use that in reverse if you need to take a pee. Yep, there you go. Yep, they do that from the factory.
So plumbing it.
Yeah, don't plumb it. No. The plumbing's different. Yeah, for sure.
This is just a random box of bits and pieces and bobs and just things that, like,
this is wonderful.
not had any chance going through any of this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably need to get a good look into that box, and then we'll. Oh yeah, that's the
Interior
overhead. Yeah, overhead console for a P11, and P11 is 12C, 650S, and 675. But those are. Yep, that's it. The P1 does not have that, but I'm sure that there's some P1 parts in there. You got some more stuff in here, right? So I see 570 parts, 720S parts, and then
570.
I mean,
Canter
you know.
rails. Canter rails, 570.
What are they called? Canter rails.
Canter rails. So this is the pillar that goes from the A to B pillar in exposed carbon.
Okay.
Goes all right the way around across the roof, across the top, to from A to B.
I can imagine that's
pillar.
pretty rare to have.
There is a very rare option. Very rare option.
I did not know that was an option.
Yeah, well, we have it. Everything is not sure. Freddie,
Yes.
follow me.
Let's. Dude, what?
I think pretty much.
Yeah. This looks brand new, man. That is a P1 splitter, front splitter. And it looks fantastic, dude. Yeah, mine is a little chewed up. It did have PPF on it, and the PPF didn't do much.
Didn't do much at all.
No, not really.
Well,
Didn't protect the paint, no.
this part I bought 3 years ago. And I guess I bought it as an ornament. And sat on it, never thought that an opportunity like this would have come up. But I guess I'm happy to help because I want to see your project on the road.
Yeah, I think this is. I'm definitely going to have that. That needs to come back home with me.
It's going to be no use sitting there, sitting here when it could be on the road with you.
So I wonder if that can that go in my bag? Can that go in my luggage? Matt Armstrong did it. You know what? I'm gonna have this shipped. I'm not gonna risk it.
Let's ship it. Ship it. We use the big boys, UPS, FedEx.
So we should go down and talk about how much these cost.
Yeah.
Let's do
Ready?
it. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so I feel like I'm being pulled into the principal's office because you have printed out some P1 parts prices from McLaren here in the UK. And spoiler alert, they're not any better than the ones in the States.
Are they not?
No. Yeah, so...
I thought they'd be cheaper here, no?
Well, it's cheaper, but the pound is worth more. Right. So that's why the numbers might be smaller, but they actually come out to more.
Plus shipping.
Plus shipping, yeah, because I got to get it back home, right?
Right.
So
right now, up-to-date prices.
Yeah.
Current.
Yeah.
Total with everything. So we got a rear diffuser, front splitter, wheel, bonnet, switches, assembly, rear spoiler, diffusers, brake calipers. Pretty much most of the stuff Freddie's seen upstairs comes to a total of McLaren prices.
215,245 pounds. So that's so that would be probably like 250-ish USD, and then I got to get it over. Oh, is that including VAT?
That is including VAT.
Oh, that's a bargain then.
VAT alone is 35k.
Good. I'm glad I'm helping out the systems here. I don't know what VAT is for.
That might fix some of the potholes outside.
Will it?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, probably not.
The VAT might go.
Okay, so I think we're gonna make a deal, just me and you, for a bunch of those parts up there, and then I'm gonna bring them home, and then I'm gonna get them on the P1. What do you say about that?
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
dude.
get them on.
Dude, thank you so much. If anybody needs McLaren parts from anywhere in the world, you ship out anywhere, right?
Worldwide.
Yeah. So you have a ton of parts that are really hard to find, and you have parts that are not the prices on this list.
You're not paying these prices.
No, you're not paying those prices. But he has super hard to find parts, and you actually helped me out with my 675. Got some really hard to find parts there. So definitely go hit him up. I'll have all his links in the video description. Definitely go check him out right now.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. And take a look at this. We have an incredible P1. Not just one, not just two, we got 3 and 4 over there. This one was actually yellow before it got this amazing purple paint job. It's not really a paint job though. This is an incredible carbon body. You can see the carbon right here underneath this flaky purple paint. And this one is also sort of like my car, except it hasn't been underwater. This has 200 miles on it. So this used to look exactly like my car, and now it looks way better. Now, behind this amazing purple P1 is an orange P1. So this one apparently has done more miles than all these other cars combined. This has just a few thousand miles, so it's not actually that high mileage, but these cars look amazing. Now this is giving me lots and lots and lots of ideas about what color I should paint my car, about the spec of the car, about the spec of the wheels, and man, I am just in heaven right now. Now I have never experienced this many P1s. Actually, I've never even driven or ridden in a P1 before, but I got the chance to do this because of the owner of this car, and his name is Richard. So I wanted to introduce him.
You're right.
What's up, man?
Yeah. You get to see the purple, the K purple P1.
So it's called K purple?
K purple, so
that's wonderful. So this was an entire body that you got. It wasn't just like a paint job, right?
yeah, so originally this was yellow, and this was my dream car.
Yeah.
And then I saw an advert for a yellow car that had a purple body. And I thought, I really want the purple body, because if I was ordering from new, I would love to have a carbon purple P1. That was my dream. So to be able to do that now, and I didn't realise, meeting the guys at VE, I didn't realise it's actually quite easy to do. It's only 2 days to change the body.
Yeah, it takes no time at all.
Yeah.
Actually, it takes a little bit of time when you don't know what you're doing, when you don't know where all the bolts are. So that rear clamshell, it's a lot easier to take off when all the bolts are off.
Right.
Yeah, it makes interesting noises when the bolts aren't off. It's like bass boat flake in this paint. It's crazy, and you can just make out the herringbone weave that goes up the center of the car. It's really fantastic.
And I love this badge because this is obviously in the...
Oh yeah, that badge is like, it's like painted on, right?
Yeah. And I think that was about an £18,000 option.
£18,000
for the badge at the time.
So there's a badge floating around Fort Myers, Florida right now, and it belongs to a P1, and I don't know where it is.
So my next stages for this is obviously, because it was yellow with red, we're going to go silver wheels with yellow calipers.
Okay.
Change the badges and then make it fit in more with the purple. I was fortunate it come with yellow stitching because that's led me to make the purple with the yellow really work. So I'm really super excited about it now.
No, this is going to look absolutely mega. Like I love a dark color on this, especially a blue, because it's honestly I'm a big fan of blue cars. And this is like this bluish purple, like in some lights it looks blue, and some lights, it really pops. And it's awesome because you can see the lines of the car so much better.
And we're here at VE because when I bought the car, the first time I took it out, the clutch went on the first acceleration. So I haven't actually driven it.
Okay.
So the clutch...
So this is new for you too.
Yeah, so the clutch went, but also on the rear I knew there was some dampers that had no oil, which the original dampers would run out of oil. So the guys are doing that, and they're going to make these dampers like lifetime proof now. So you don't have to... Yeah, so that's why we're here. That's why I'm working with them on the car. But we're not far away now, and then I should be able to take it on the road. But the big thing they have done is the V mode.
Okay.
So originally with these cars, you had them obviously quite low down. I always felt they were quite subtle with the spoiler down. And if you use track mode on the road, you run insured.
Yeah.
So now you can...
You're uninsured, so they won't insure anything that happens.
That's it. So you're going to cost you a lot of money. So basically now you can have the car in this mode, which is like the track mode, but just slightly higher, so you're not going to ground out on bumps, you're not going to have all them problems. And I think this is how the car should be. So, all these cars have all got V mode on.
Okay.
So that's the amount of owners that are now taking this product from them. So for me, now I can take it out on the road and get that full experience of the downforce. Because obviously this is the key.
A giant shopping cart wing. It's so silly. This looks awesome. Now we are here in this wonderful workshop called V Engineering, and I was invited here not only by Richard, but also by Paul. And Paul is going to tell us a little bit about what they do over here, and hopefully how we can work together, right?
So V Engineering was set up by myself and Steve Spender. He's an ex-flying doctor. I'm after sales manager for Europe. And we were both there 10 years, so we lived and breathed all of these cars. The first thing that we wanted to do when we set up V Engineering was we wanted to support the cars much better from a cost of ownership point of view, availability point of view, and just actually offer customers something much better. P1 is very special to us because when it was launched, it had a few issues, but given the complexity of the car, it did very, very well. One of the biggest things with the P1 at the moment is the battery.
What?
Always been a problem. So yeah, we lived all of those battery issues, taking batteries out of cars, sending them back to the manufacturer and getting them refurbished and coming back, and it was about a year. So V Engineering has teamed up with the original guys that built this battery back in 2010. They all left, but they've all reformed. They've all come back together. And end of this year, we're going to be offering our own battery, which will be about 20% lighter than the original battery. It will discharge 150 horsepower for 2 minutes 52 seconds, whereas the original one did 2 minutes 30 seconds.
And then the Speedtail battery, which is the upgrade for one of these, how much does that discharge?
We think about 52 seconds.
Okay.
It's going to last.
Yeah, because it's a physically smaller battery.
It's a physically smaller battery.
You get less
Yeah.
range. Actually, do you know what your range would be?
We're
E-mode?
looking around. We anticipate around about 15, 16 miles on pure EV.
15 miles?
15 miles. The original was 10, so we
I mean,
haven't
you'd be
taken-
lucky to get 6 in this. Like
It was about 8 or 10, depending on how high up a hill you were going or whatever. So,
15. That's a
yeah.
commute. That's a commute in E-mode.
But from our experience, no one's ever long in E-mode in these cars anyway.
Okay. Well, our experience is about to change with my car because, oh boy, are we going to do some testing on that?
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, well, we'll help you out. Yeah.
Well, you actually have a battery in here, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
That looks kind of familiar. So, why isn't this like blown up and full of sediment and also sea creatures?
Well, this is a battery that's failed.
Okay.
In the classic way that P1 batteries do fail. Mm-hmm. All of those cells in that battery, regardless of a P1's age, were made in 2010. Okay. And when one of those little cells goes bad, it affects the whole battery, and the battery has to come out and it used to go back to the battery manufacturer. Mm-hmm. They would identify which cell was bad, and they would change one pack, and then they would have to do what's called charge balance it. So they would have to balance the whole charging level in the battery. Yeah. That procedure took about 1 month per battery, and so that's why a lot of P1 owners were in this never-ending queue of getting their battery fixed. So battery technology has moved on massively in the last 13 years. That was lithium ion. We're actually our new battery is made of lithium ion sulfate.
So that's the new one you're developing,
That's a new
right?
one, yeah. That's just a mock-up at the moment. It will actually be slightly lower and slightly wider to get the centre of gravity down a bit lower. It will actually have a different cooling system in it. We'll be using an inert oil cooling system, which is commonplace on a lot of EV vehicles today, with a cooler running across the top of it. But it will be plug and play as much as we can. So it will have its own diagnostics and its own sort of management system, but that will link seamlessly into the existing hardware software of the P1. We wanted to make it as much reliability and serviceability as possible. Those are the two most important things. We didn't want any more power out of it, because there's a number of things on the P1 which are right on the limit, mainly the crown wheel and pinion in the gearbox. If you start altering stuff like that, you're probably going to run into gearbox issues. We only wanted a little bit lighter.
Engine, maybe that too.
Exactly. Yeah. So we just wanted it to be as serviceable as possible. So our battery pack, if it does experience a problem, you literally drop out the fuel tank, you drop out the battery, you change the pack that's affected, put the battery back in, charge it overnight, done, you're away.
Okay.
That's the big.
So one thing I noticed was that that is slightly smaller than that pack, but also it's the size of a carry-on if somebody were to take it on a plane, which I'm actually going on a plane in a few days. So I mean, we could just make this work, you know?
Yeah. Well, that one doesn't have the cooling jacket around it.
Oh, you know what?
So,
I feel like I could do that at home. You know?
So we're going to have our own carbon fiber cooling jacket around
Very
it as
cool.
well, which is actually, again, cuts down on the whole weight of the actual the whole system. We're very proud of it, and the original guys that built the original battery back in 2010, as I say, they came to us a couple of years ago and they said, we want to do a P1 battery because the tech that's come along since then is much, much better.
Absolutely.
So-
But not only are you developing a battery, you have a fix for the battery chargers, right? So
That's right.
Weird thing, but the battery chargers also fail.
They do, yes, yeah. The electronics and the boards and the hardware inside the chargers were right on the limit.
Like everything in McLaren. So do you have some chargers that we can look at?
Yes, we do. We've got two over here, yeah.
So right next to a yellow P1, we have two P1 chargers. And these are how much from McLaren?
Last price we had was about £20,000 each.
Wonderful.
We send them away to the guys that do our batteries, and they can overhaul and put much better electronics in there for about £4,500.
So for $4.5 grand, you can have something that isn't gonna just give you the red blinking light of death.
Exactly. And also, the existing charger will work with our new battery. Again, we didn't want to change the charger too much because of the originality of the car. So we wanted to keep the P1 battery charger, whole car, as original as possible.
Yeah.
We didn't want to reinvent it because we thought that would be taking away from the actual identity and character of the P1. So
what if somebody were to, let's say, just make it really, really cheap and use like a Toyota Corolla hybrid battery? Would that be a solution possibly? Like, what if it didn't need to make 150 horsepower for 2 minutes? What if we could do it for 1 minute?
I don't think it would happen. Yeah, for a start. I mean, it's cost us a lot of money to develop our battery. The benefits for the P1 in its residual value will be, quite considerable.
I think so. Yeah.
Because the P1 values have hung around the 1 million to 1.23 million mark for a long time. Purely because of the fear of the battery. Shock absorbers are another one. They're £10,000 a corner. We can get those refurbished for about £2,000 a corner. The hybrid drive assembly in this as well, which is another famous P1 weak point. The seals can leak. When they did leak, it was a new HDA plate, which was about £25,000. We changed just the seals in the plate, and that costs about £2,000.
All right, so 1/10 of the price.
Exactly.
One thing I think you guys could actually develop something is that these aren't exactly waterproof. So when there's a lot of rain,
yeah,
I feel like these should float. It's a carbon tub. Mine didn't float very well, so maybe mine could be, the first McLaren boat. I don't know. But dude, I am so excited because not only do you have solutions for everything that this P1 could have issues with, but it just makes this car so much more usable. And you, just like me, have an idea that these cars need to be driven. Like, these cars don't need to sit and just...
They do. Yeah, when they're... P1s that we see, when they're used and they're driven, they tend to behave themselves.
Yeah.
They don't dry out. You don't have any problems with them. The moment you start laying them up in hot garages for long periods of time, that's when seals dry out and leaks occur, and they don't like it. I actually personally think that they're kind of alive in a way. When all of those control units and electronics inside them, they don't talk to each other for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like your wife, you don't talk to her for a long time.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, so but the cars that we see, not just P1s, 675s, 12Cs, even some Ferraris as well, when they're driven and they're used, they tend to be much, much better. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for showing me around your workshop and showing me what crazy projects you have. So we'll definitely stay in touch. We need to do something with that battery right there.
For sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Now, one thing that caught my eye was this. I know this anywhere. This is extra body panels for a P1, and I believe that this entire thing is a spare body for a P1, and I believe that you are the owner of the spare body for the P1.
Well, that's why I got in touch with you originally, wasn't it? To say, look, I really enjoy your videos, what you're going to do with the P1, and obviously I've got a body for a P1 here, because obviously I've gone to the purple car. So we were just talking about it and seeing what you're going to do, and I don't know what you're going to do, but whether you're going to want an original body or you're going to redo the body you've got.
Well, if I can get an entire P1 body, that opens up a whole world of possibilities, but it does for you as well, because, with that car, with that beautiful thing right there, you can now drive the piss out of your own car without worry, because you have a original body. And this is the same yellow that my car is. And I could sand this down and make this visual carbon and then put a tint over it or something. But there's also a big price with this. So what are these things usually worth?
Yeah, so I think the problem is that McLaren, you can't get hold of the original body parts. So I done a check with McLaren. I think it come out about 250 plus VAT.
Okay, 250,000 British pounds plus VAT,
so
which is another
300,000,
which is another 20%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's-
they're a lot of money, but you can't get them.
Okay.
So then it becomes something that's difficult for me to sell because I had the same thing as you. I could actually change the colour of that or make my P1 different or whatever. But the problem is the carbon purple's so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the difficult thing. So it's difficult to value and probably difficult for you because you want your P1 and
Yes.
you know, these are going to be, and these are only going to go up because you can't get them.
What if I traded you my slightly used yellow,
I'm okay at the moment.
and and then I gave you let's call it 10, 20, $50 on top. How about that? We do that? Is that
I'm
good?
not sure that's going to be the best deal for me. But
Okay, well, it was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. Awesome. Well, I wish you luck. Maybe we can do a deal on this. I don't know. Maybe we can fix mine. I don't know. But this has given me a lot of ideas. This is so insane, so crazy. So this is what it looks like when it's actually running, not covered in water. The wings coming up. That's so cool. And now the car is coming down. There we go. Look at that. Dude, this thing looks sick. It's so cool. So is this race mode or V mode?
This is V mode.
This is V mode. So this is something you guys developed.
Exactly, yeah. This is halfway between full race mode and normal mode. Yeah. So we've got the rear wing fully deployed. We're dropped about 20 millimeters rather than 40 millimeters. We also tipped the car forward slightly to improve a little bit more downforce. This is the display that you get in race mode as well, which is more race focused.
That is so cool. I can't wait to see this on mine. Thank you so much, man. Ooh, I'm excited.